Hi, it's Russ from Pro Tools Expert, and when we got version 7 of UAD last week, we got 3 new plugins. One of them was Ocean Way, and the second one I want to look at this time is the Oxford Inflator. Now, the Oxford Inflator is not a new plugin. It's been around for some time as a non-UAD product. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to show you this for UAD users, and also if you're not a UAD user, then of course there's also a native version of this as well that you can check out on the Sonnox site. But great news for users of UAD platform, because this is one of those kind of products that a lot of people perhaps don't understand and have two views of it. And some people think it's just a loudness maximizer. Well, in a way it is, but in another way it's not. It has a kind of psychoacoustic effect on the sound, and it gives you a very straightforward way of one, yes, improving gain, but secondly, just lifting stuff within a mix. So I want to show you it and show you how it works, and then show you on different materials. So I've got this jazz track that's made up of some audio loops with drums, bass, guitars, keys, and horn. And at the moment, I've got it across the stereo bus, which is a place that a lot of these will end up on, the inflator. And let me just go through the GUI with you for a second. So we have an input. Now, at the moment it's set at 0 dB, and the output set at 0 dB, which gives us basically the setting of inflating the sound without adding any additional gain. Because the second thing you can do with this is you can actually then go beyond the 0 dB and push the gain and start to use it to induce distortion, low-level distortion, which gives it a nice sort of clipping, a decent clipping sound, not a horrible vile digital clipping sound. So let me show you first how that works, and then we'll go on to using it as an effect as well. So what you have is you have the input and the output, both at the moment set at 0 dB. And of course, if you then push up the input there, you'd probably compensate for that by bringing down the output. So I'm going to return those back to their default positions by pressing the Command key and clicking on them. Then you have this effect, which is basically how much do you want to add the inflator in. That's the intensity of it. And then we have a curve, and the curve determines how much additional kind of brightness and bottom end will be induced in as well. And if you set it to the position there, the 0 position, we'll see a change, but it won't be as intense and as noticeable as if we start pushing it right up here to plus 50% on the curve. And a lot of this is easier to hear than it is to explain. Then we have at the moment clip 0 dB. So basically it will not allow it to go beyond 0 dB on the input stage. So it won't allow it to clip. So that's working as a standard clip catch. And the second one is then a band split. You can process it in 3 bands rather than just as a single band process. So at the moment I'm going to set it in its most basic mode, which is the clip on 0 0, and then we'll just push this in. So let me play you this now and start to push it in. You'll start to hear this. You see now it's starting to have an effect. Take it back out. It's one of those things that if you put it in and leave it in and forget about it and then switch it back off again, you do really start to realise you've made quite a considerable difference. And although at first intents and purposes it sounds quite subtle. Hear a lot of that low mid, some top end, just lifting. Let's really start to affect it now. Push the curve up now. Really hear that now. If we then compensate for the changes in the volume as well. So at 0. So we're seeing again now, it's clipping right up at about minus 3. So we Particularly listen for the double bass and the piano when it comes in. We'll bring the piano in earlier on in a moment. Now the second thing we could do then is we can band split it. We can process it in 3 bands. I found it's particularly noticeable about the 10k mark. You start to hear that the top end it opens up even more when you put it into band split, and the bottom end as well starts to sweeten up, and that's all done behind the scenes. So there's no way of adjusting the band splits. It's all done by the guys over at Sonnox. They've made those choices, and they seem to be good choices that they've made. So I'll play it again. Bottom end in particular there, you can hear it really starting to tighten up. Now the second way you can use it then, so that's a very nice transparent inflator, transparent gain increase. The second way you could do it, you could turn this off and we can push the input stage and start to induce a really nice pleasant clipping. So we need to bring this down now to account for it. So it's 7 dB up, so let's of course you can go as hard as you want. You can bring this right down and again that top, the bottom end in particular. There's the original. And we'll just get that back to where we had it originally. So we'll get 0 in, 0 out, and we'll put the clip back on. Curve about there. Okay, let's take everything down to its basic levels now, and let's first start with the piano and show you that on the piano. So I'm going to take this back to the beginning. And again, we're just not going to induce any clip. We're just going to lift the piano bits. Let me show you it with the piano. Start to bring a lot of low mid in, just flatten it a bit. Again, you could accentuate that by pushing the curve harder. But I don't want that because it just sounds very clunky and very... sounds like somebody playing the piano with gloves on. So I like that. There's lovely sort of stuff around the low mid there that's just really lifting slightly. We could just bring it back even more. Just lifting that a bit. So let's go over to the drums, show you those in action. Let's just find a part where we've got some drums playing. I think that will do it here. Let's just go there. Band split it this time. We've got a much more complex signal. Lovely on drums. Let's wait for that kick to come in again, and I'm going to turn it off again and show you it in action. I'm just going to go into that bit where we've got that lovely riff there on that drum kick, because that's really nice. I think it's just about there. And this time, we push the input more. We can turn the clip off as well. We can really start to push this again. Really start to saturate. Go full on if we want like that. But I'm finding it all a bit messy around the top end now, so I just want to bring that back again, put that down. Little more energy there. Yep, like that. Okay, double bass now. Let's go further back again, so we've got some nice low action as well. About there. Again, we're pushing in. Again, if you want to turn the clip off, start to saturate that a bit. But again, I just want to bring that in, be more subtle with it, so just a little bit of extra gain. Put the clip protection back in. It's almost bringing it forward. It's like the microphone's been pushed closer to the bass. There it is. Let's find some guitars now, finally. And I think we've got them here. Let's turn the clip option off again. Push this higher. A little bit of clip there. Put it down here to compensate. Again, giving some more immediacy there. And finally the horns. No, it's really nice on brass. It's lovely. And I'm just going for broke on the brass. I'm just pull it back down. There's really, really nice warmth in those brass now. Is the original? Now, it's not likely that you'd use it on every bus, but that's on every bus at the moment. So as I say, with it all in on everything, and as I say, it's highly unlikely. It's not probably how I'd mix this, but just to give you an example of what it's doing to all the channels now. Now off. Much more immediacy in the whole track. Well, of course, I could switch this back off, and let's say this was my final mix now. I could then come back to my original just on the output stage of the masters. If you want to hear what it's like with everything in, as I say, it's highly unlikely I'd ever do this, but just to give you an example. But for me, that's just too over the top now. It just wouldn't happen. And that's the whole point of this, is that if I wanted to induce something far less clean and far more noticeable, I probably wouldn't use this, because this has this lovely effect of being able to lift stuff in a mix without it being too apparent. So there we go, the Oxford Inflator. Well worth checking out, well worth downloading the demo from UAD. If you're a UAD user on Apollo or of one of their cards or one of their external devices. Or of course, the good news about this as well is if you're not a UAD user, you can also check out the version that is not dependent on UAD hardware. There we go, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.